This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to join by the Cobra, Carl Froch here, the Joshua-Usyk. Well, it's not the Wayne any longer, we've been kicked out, but Carl, how are you doing firstly?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good to hear. Now, let's just get straight into that. We saw the weights. What did you make of both of them?
I think AJ's at his optimal weight, because we've seen him perform at that weight numerous occasions, and I think Usyk coming in a little bit heavier is no surprise really. He needs to be a bit heavier, because he's in against a big man in AJ, and I don't think he's too heavy where it's going to slow him down either, which is, good news for the Usyk camp.
How does AJ have to approach this fight, in your opinion, Carl? And what kind of game plan do you think Rob, your old trainer, would have set up for him?
I think he needs to be cagey, as with any fight. So no different to any fight. You've always got to be a bit cagey, but I do think he needs to go for it. I think he needs to stamp his authority, his height and reach and weight advantage from the offset really. Maybe have a couple of rounds where he's just finding his range and feeling his feet and shaking off the nerves and the big occasion. The outdoor 60-odd thousand people there. He's going to be, he's done it many times before, but he's still going to be a bit apprehensive before he really starts letting leather go. But I think he needs to stamp his authority. I really do. I think it's at the centre of the ring. Get down on that front foot with that jab and look for the counter. I know Usyk's going to be boxing and moving and boxer tricks and whatever, but I just think the height and reach and size and weight advantage that AJ's got. And fucking get in there, believe in yourself. He's been in there he's fought all of them really, hasn't he? All right, he fought slightly past his best Klitschko, but then he jumped in there with Parker and Takam knotted him, broke his nose, and he came through that. And Povetkin, tough fight. He went in there. He's the only one to really obliterated him, didn't he, in the end? And then the Kubrat-Pulev fight. I mean, the Ruiz loss is not a stain, it's a learning fight. I just hope that's not setting back mentally, because the rematch was just a boxer move, which was great. Show your skills, do the job, tick the box, get your belts back. Now we're rolling. But he's only fought Kubrat-Pulev since then. And I don't know, Kubrat-Pulev was an old man. And he just ran out of steam. And AJ ran out of steam as well, let's not forget, in that fight. So he's not done anything really since the loss to Ruiz to show me that I'm really confident that he's there. But I spoke to McCracken and I've seen him in the gym as well, and he's a superior athlete. That's what he is. He's a consummate professional. He believes in himself, and he's got a lot of weight, a lot of pressure on his shoulders when he gets in them ring, when he gets through them ropes, and he realises that now is the time to perform every time he steps in there. And I'm sure he'll perform and he'll do what he needs to do. But this is going to be tough, mate. This is a tough fight. Usyk's no pushover. Usyk's phenomenal. He's a top fighter. Is he overrated a bit? I don't know. Is he that good? I mean, Olympic gold medalist, undisputed cruiserweight champ in a tough division at the time. He is brilliant. But I don't know, does that brilliance follow up in the weight division to the heavyweight? We're going to find out, aren't we? He didn't look fantastic, did he, against Derek Chisora? He didn't look fantastic. But was he trying to look fantastic, or was he trying to just ease into the weight, take a few shots, feel the power, see how that transition feels? Maybe it was a bit of that, but we're going to find out. That's why this is so bloody exciting. Nobody actually knows. I expect AJ to stick it on him and do the business. Either force a stoppage or knock him out. But I just can't see Usyk getting forced to stop, and I can't see him getting knocked out. That's the problem. I don't know who he's in with. Can be in with King Kong. It's Usyk, So this is why it's such a big fight, such a great fight. Fair play to AJ and all for taking it, because I think there was always a way out. But AJ's gone, you know what, I'll fight him. He's giving the fans what they want. I've got nothing but praise for AJ for stepping in there with Usyk. This is going to be a great fight. I cannot wait.
Carl, if AJ is successful, where does Usyk rank on his resume amongst the rest of his wins?
Well, there'll always be the caveat that he's not a heavyweight, but other than the fact that he's not a heavyweight, it's his best win. Because look at Usyk's resume, look at his amateur pedigree. Gone up to the Olympic champion. I know, same Olympics as AJ, London 2012, and undisputed cruiserweight champion in the pro ranks. Undefeated still, so this is a tough fight for AJ.
There's obviously a lot of talk about that potential Tyson Fury fight, the undisputed bout. Fury Wilder 2 weeks after. Is AJ going to be looking to want to make a statement ahead of that?
I'm not so sure, no. Why does it? It's Anthony Joshua. He ain't got to make any statement, you know. He talks, everyone else shuts up and listens, you know. He ain't got to think, I've got to make a statement. He didn't want to make a statement against Ruiz, and he didn't have to. I thought he had to, but he didn't. Maybe he had to satisfy my ambitions of him moving forward and what he's got and how much he wants the game. But he boxed the perfect fight, got the belts, and on from there. So no, I don't think he's got to stamp anything or try and prove anything. It's Anthony Joshua. He's a top fighter. He's unified or undisputed, not undisputed, unified champion. And I think he will be unified champion very soon.
Just a few other things I want to get your thoughts on, Carl. As we mentioned, Fury Wilder 3. What is your take on that fight now? It's only about 2.5 weeks out.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Fury's mind's on the game, because if it's not, I don't think his preparation will be what it needs to be. And I know he kind of outclassed Wilder in that rematch, but he did that because he was on his A game and he was at his best. He boxed perfectly that night. Brilliant double jab, right hand, body shots, moving him around, leaning on him, putting himself in the ring in certain areas, and just totally outboxed and outclassed Wilder. But if he's not at his best, he's not going to be able to do that. And if he gets caught on the chin, we know that Wilder's a devastating knockout, one punch knockout man. So who knows? I'd like to think Fury does the job again. That's nothing against Wilder. I just think Fury's too big, 6 foot bloody whatever he is, and massive arms, light on his feet, mindset of a bloody Roman gladiator. You know, he'll never give up. So I think Fury wins that, but provided he's at his best, and I'm not so sure he is at his best.
Talking about your little tour at the minute with George Groves, your old pal, Carl. What's that like, touring with somebody who you had a big rivalry with a few years back now?
Yeah, it was a few years back. That's 2014, so 7 years ago. George Groves got flattened in front of 80,000 at Wembley Stadium with his leg almost wrapped around the back of his ear hole. And believe it or not, we're now mates.
You tell it like that on the tour?
You know what? We've only done one little meet and greet, and it was in Manchester, and I was like on my back foot because the Mancs were all booing me and going mad at me. I don't think we've got one in Manchester this time, because the first fight was in Manchester, so a lot of the fans from that turned up, and they was properly on his side. So I was like just quite select on my words and quite reserved, and I thought I'm not going to take the piss. But Groves is all right. He can take a laugh, have a joke. You know, he was a champion in his own right, world champion in his own right. He went on to become world champion. And he was in the Super Series, and he made a bit of money, made a lot of money. And he beat Chris Eubank Jr., then lost to Callum Smith, which was no disgrace. He had a bad shoulder, and no excuses nothing against Callum Smith. But you know, Groves has got a lot to be proud of after getting flattened at Wembley. You know, so fair play to him.
Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant. A couple of days ago, we saw their face-off, and he got a little heated, to say the least. What did you make of it, Carl?
Plant stuck it on him because he believes in himself and he's trying to get inside Alvarez's head. I don't know if it would work because Alvarez he don't mind shouting and swearing, and I don't think it'll bother him. But it's a good fight.
How would you have handled that situation if you was up there, Carl?
I'd probably wouldn't have seen that coming. I'd probably got slapped. I'd have been right pissed off because Canelo slipped it, didn't he, and countered straight away. Mate, if someone hits me in the face like I'm coming for him, I ain't going to let some bodyguard hold on to me and get him. I'll put him in an headlock and drop him, and then I'll be straight on. I'm getting through 4 or 5 people to get to the guy that slapped me. Simple as that.
Final thing, Carl, we was told earlier that Roy Jones Jr., your old pal once again, has decided to call you out on DAZN. Just your take on hearing Roy wanting to face you?
You know what, before I comment too much on that, I'd fight Roy Jones, and I've got so much respect for him. Such a top man. I've met his friends and his family. And I've got so much respect for him as a fighter, but he's not an old man busted up, you know, looking to just make a few quid. Because you know, unfortunately, we saw that with Van der Holyfield the other day, and it wasn't nice to watch. For me to get in the ring with someone like Roy Jones would be an absolute honour, albeit in the capacity of an exhibition. But for some reason, he keeps kind of trying to start a little beef, and if he wants to start a beef, he's starting on the wrong guy, because I'm the beef master general, and I'm happy to have a move around with him, and I don't know, stick some 14-ounce gloves on, and put a little dance on, and say that I've been in the ring with a legend. All right, of course it's not a proper boxing match, but something like that could end up escalating into a proper fight. So I'd have to, I don't know if I talked to him or not, because he was a bit cold in Dallas in Texas, and I was trying to talk to him, and he didn't have much to say. I met his family and that, and briefly, but after we finished filming on DAZN for the Alvarez Saunders fight, not much was said. And I was like, where's Roy gone? Where is he? And he was gone. And now he's piping up again. So I don't know, we'll see. Before I comment too much, we'll see.
Right, Carl, we'll leave that there now. Leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Pleasure.